Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a cute little mini album using our new Speak and Spell Builder Die. It is not a mini album, but I'm going to show you how you can easily turn it into a mini album and also give you some tips and tricks on how you can turn a lot of your larger dies into mini albums. So this is the Speak and Spell die. It comes with these pieces here that when assembled makes the iconic 80s toy. So to get started, I cut out the bottom base of the die in my chipboard. So it's going to be my cover and then some of my pages. And then I cut my black bases to cover these up. So all I'm going to do, we are going to be assembling it as a mini album just with a paper ring. So you don't have to punch holes or anything like that. It's going to make it really super easy. But first what you're going to do is you are just going to glue these back pieces onto the fronts and backs of all of your chipboard pieces. So we're going to just go ahead and start that process right now. Okay, so now that we have our 4 fronts and backs done, we're just going to put the handles, because they're going to be flat, on the fronts and backs of all of them. Because on the bottom one, the bottom portion, some I'm going to turn into pockets and some I'm not. So I just want to go ahead and glue all of the top pieces into place. And I want to make sure I have the right side of my paper up. So I just like to do things, I don't do things page by page if it's kind of repetitive and in bulk. I just do all of one pieces that are the same at one time. Now you could obviously make your book different. You could keep it solid black like this, or you could make them different colors, but I wanted to keep mine in the traditional colors and style of an actual Speak and Spell. So all of my pages, even on the inside, are going to have the same signature colors. The only thing that'll be more detailed is going to be the cover of my album, and that's going to have the keyboard on it. My inside pages will not, but I'm just going to put all of these on just like that. I'm going to repeat this for the other 3. Okay, so we have all of these 4 front and back done with our handles. So now it's kind of, you have to do a little bit of planning. So my cover one is going to be an easy one. I know that this is going to get glued on here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue for my cover. I'm not making it into a pocket or anything. It's just going to be a standard cover. So that one is going to be an easy one for me to decide. We'll do the decorations for them at the end because it's a little bit tedious with all of the keyboard pieces, but get this on here. Now, for parts that you want to make pockets for, you first have to decide what you're going to put in your pocket and how big that they're going to be. So I had made some little journaling tags for mine so that I know how wide it's going to be and that it's just going to barely pop up because I want this to be the pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble, well, I wanted to put ribbon on it, honestly. So you know what? Let's not. We'll just eyeball it. So here is my cover one. And let's say my second one I want to be a pocket. So what I'm going to do here is, because I know this is the base of what I want to be able to tuck in here, I know that I'm going to use double-sided tape. And I'm going to see, you could do glue as well, as long as you don't go too far out with your glue. But because this is, I don't want to use 1/4 inch. If I use 1/4 inch, it's going to uplift a little bit. So I'm going to be using a thinner 1/8 of an inch tape on the 3 sides exposed, leaving my top area open to make a pocket. And I'm going to get up as close to the edge that I can with my tape. Like so. I'll trim that off when the time comes. Whoops. And then I'm going to go on, turning it around. Sorry here. Just so I can get the straight edge on as best as I can here. And then I'm going to show you how you can make other things in your album as well. So right now we're turning one piece of the die into a pocket, and then I will show you how you can turn them into flaps. Very, very important that you burnish the tape so it adheres really, really well to the project. And then I'm going to trim off the parts that are hanging over, because I don't want any of that to stick on my other pages. Okay. And if you look, when you turn it over, I still have plenty of wiggle room that this shouldn't catch on to anything. And those are just all the things that you want to keep in mind when you're converting pieces that are not for a mini album into a mini album. You want to make sure that you have the clearance that you need. So I am going to now just remove my backing tape, my release paper. Get it up. Okay. And yes, you could go around the corners too, but I'm not going to be putting anything in these pages that are going to be small, that are going to fall through. So I am good with that. Okay, and now I'm just going to line it up to the die. And the most important part, burnishing it on really well. And then I have a pocket. So that's one way that you can alter one of the designs. I'm going to actually do this again on another one, so then I can show you how you can add a flip to it. So we're going to just do the exact same thing we just did. We're going to make another pocket with our super skinny tape, which now, oh, there it is, the end I couldn't find. And we're just going to repeat what we just did. And you can do as many as pockets that you want in this fashion. I'm just going to go right here. And again, the idea is to keep it as close to the edge as you can, so it doesn't catch on to what you're turning in for a pocket to get snagged in there. And that's why I'm saying too, that's why I like to use the double-sided tape as opposed to glue, because if you put even a small line of glue on there, once you flatten it down, some of the glue is going to bleed over, and you're not necessarily going to be able to see how far it bleed over into this section of your project to know if you made the clearance or not for your tag. Red line tape is really, really good for this kind of project too, because it's super, super strong. This is just standard double-sided tape. Okay, and again, I'm just going to make this line up here and then burnish it on. And I have another pocket. Okay. And where did I put that little insert? I don't know where it goes. Just want to always make sure you have your clearance. Okay. So my next one, so these are 2 pockets. I'm going to turn it over. My next one is not going to be a pocket. I'm actually going to glue this one down completely so I can glue a picture on top of it or put a journaling tag, but we are going to make it slightly, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it interactive, but I know other people would call it interactive. But we're just going to, this one is going to be glued down completely. Okay. And now how to make another piece to your album. And that would be by taking another cut of what you have, and you can either make it so it can open up as a page this way or flip up as a page that way or this way or that way. Totally up to you, but what you end up first wanting to decide is how it's going to open. And then you're going to cut a strip a 1/2 inch thick wide by whatever the length is that you want it to be. So I cut some that are going to be the length of mine going across if I do a top flap, and then also one from the side, and I cut it right where the curve starts going. And basically all you need to do, you're going to make a little false tab. You're going to take this and you're going to score it down the middle so you have a 1/2 inch, a score line, and a 1/2 inch, and you're going to be able to attach it to your project. Let me get my scoreboard. Unfortunately, I only have my large one here, so I am just going to take this and I'm going to score it. It's let me come over here, flatten the area here. So you can see it's a 1/2 inch strip. So I'm going to score it at a 1/4 inch. And while I have it out, I'm just going to do all of the pieces, even if I don't know if I'm going to be using them all, but just so then I don't have to grab this out again and do it in front of you. And I'm doing it with my texture side down. And when you score, what ends up happening is you get a hill and a valley on your paper. Okay, normally when you're folding, you want the bump to go to the inside so it doesn't put stress on the fibers of the paper. Okay, so we're going to make this a top one to start with. So I am going to grab my secondary piece. I'm going to grab the one that is the length of all across, and I'm going to fold it so that I can glue part of the tab to the back side, and then the other part will go on the inside, and then I have a flap. It doesn't matter which piece you glue to your scored paper first. And I do it in a 1/2 inch only because sometimes if you're going to be using double-sided tape, again, that's always just a good rule of measure for what you need. It's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be pretty, but it is, oops, those are my buttons for later. Okay, and then you just want to make sure that you really burnish it on well and that it's even on the top side so that when you line it up here so that you can glue it here, it's going to line up where it needs to be. And then I'm just putting some more glue on the back side of that tab. And then I am just going to line it up. And because this is a die, we know that all the pieces are going to line up perfectly because you cut them all with the same die. Okay. And now we have a flip up. This would also make a cute card in this way. So you can do something of that nature as well. So now we have our pocket, right? This is the pocket. Okay, I'm going to leave that white in there just so I know this is the pocket. This is my flip. Here is my other one that, oh, that's the glued down one, I think. Yeah, where'd my other pocket one go? Oh, here's my other pocket one. And now I'm going to do, I'm going to glue this down here as well. And then I'm going to do a side flip. And again, you can add these elements to any large die that you have that you're going to be converting into make a mini album into. You just have to make a tab attachment. And it's best when it's on a straight edge for something. It just makes it easier than if it was a curve. Okay. And then I had that one, the shorter one. And that I am going to have go, well, actually, yeah, we'll have it go on the side here. So I'm just going to fold on my score line like I did before. I am going to burnish it. And now I can go ahead and line up my tab where I had cut it for myself, which is it was going to be flush with the top and then straight right where the curve starts to come over. So I'm just going to put glue on the back side of the tab. Turn this around and I am going to line up my score line to be on the edge. And then I'm going to burnish it down. Again, make sure that it is lined up. And now I'm going to put some glue on the top side of that tab where this one is going to meet. I'm going to get it on as straight as you can. And then also burnish it down. Make sure you always want to open it as well and get it burnished for both sides. So now we have one that flips this way, and then we have our one that flips that way, and then we have our pockets on the back side. And you can repeat and do this for as many pages as you want. Another thing I wanted to show you that I've done, and I'll do it on the one that we glued down. I found a font that looked like the lettering of the letters that used to come up in the Speak and Spell. I'll link it below. So what I did is I wrote out some things that I know, like I'm going to have a picture of my son Colin on one. So I did Colin for 1998. And I did one for my other son that is Alec for 1998, so they each can have their own page. So I'm going to just glue that into the thing. I'm going to put this on one probably that has, and this would also be really cute as maybe even the, you know what? I think I'm going to make 2 albums instead. I'll make one for my son Colin, and so this I'm going to actually probably use instead for my cover piece. So, this is my cover, okay, because it's going to be the solid one. So let me just glue. Yeah, see, changed your mind as I went along. I'm going to make 2 albums eventually. So let's just add, and all you need to do with this is cut a strip that's going to fit in there. Just measure it out. And then find a font that you like. And if you have a Cricut or a Cameo or any of those type of machines, you can just cut this out on your machine. I'm just making sure I'm getting all, let's see, I missed the I. Just make sure you get in all these little nooks and crannies. Okay, and then I'm just going to put the bright green paper behind it. And I mean, if you like how this looked, I also did one that said backyard because I figured I was going to have pictures of them in the backyard. Part of my B fell out on this one though. But so you could actually journal the name of the page in this part of the section of, yeah, I like how that's going to come out. So this will end up being my cover piece. So let me add a pocket to the back of this one. So I'm just going to grab that tape again. And then I can show you how you can decorate the cover. So again, just putting this up as close as I can to the edges. And it's really a lot of fun to be able to look at your dies in new ways, especially if you have like large background dies, that you can look at things differently and get more out of your stash instead of always like, oh, I like that. I wish it was an album die. Not everything needs to be an album die to be turned into an album. So just always keep that in mind, just like we're doing here. And let's grab this piece here. And then we're going to grab this piece here. That's my glued cover, yeah. Okay. And I'm just going to stick this here to make a pocket. Okay. And then I'm going to glue my son's name for the cover of his album up here. And then I'll have to make another one for my other son, who are adults at this point, just so you know. Even though I'm saying 1998, because I know I have tons of cute pictures of them in the backyard, playing in the trees and all that. Okay, so there's that piece. So on to our cover Another piece on the die that you have is the little rounded area and the keyboard, and then so you can cut out keys to create this area. What I did is I looked up the Speak and Spell logo to find out what font it was, and then I kind of traced it in here. And again, if you have a Cricut or a Cameo, I cut out the letters and I'll glue those on there as well. I also cut this piece out of chipboard because I do like height and texture on my covers of my album. So I'm going to glue this onto the chipboard. Again, this is just my personal preference. You could just do everything in cardstock. I love working with chipboard. I love the sturdiness it gives to projects. I also think that they last longer through the years than just regular cardstock, even if you have super thick cardstock. Okay, and then I am going to I'm going to glue this, centering it to here, and then I'm going to quickly put in all of my keys and the Speak and Spell logo. I won't bore you with that. I will speed it up in the video because it's probably going to be painstakingly boring in real time. So let me start just getting the base parts ready of what I want. Okay, looks pretty centered to me. The reason why you're asking why I keep using my bone folder, it's helping to spread the glue to the edges. So there's not globs in there either. It just helps get an even glob right there. Even distribution of your glue. Okay, and now I'm going to glue on this blue piece. Try not to get too crazy with the glue so it seeps through. And I don't, just a couple dots in here where they intersect. Okay, and you just want to center that. Okay, and then I have the alphabet, the keyboard pieces that I'll just go ahead and glue in here. I am going to with my pencil really quick just so I can make a reference from how it looks. It is red across the top, so I know I want reds all in here. Okay, and then these are orange. There's 3 oranges, then there's a yellow, 3 oranges, then a yellow, and then another orange, and then 4 oranges here, and a yellow, and then the rest on here is oranges. I don't know why they did the keyboard. Dummy. It's the vowels. A, E, I, O, U are in yellow, and everything else, the last 1, 2, 3, 4 are red. So red, red. I never really was paying attention, and now I know. Okay, so the consonants are orange, the numerals and punctuations are reds, and then the vowels were yellow. I never paid attention. Okay, so I am gonna go just speed this process up. I just have a whole bunch of these little cutouts right here. Let me just wipe off the tip of my glue. It's got a glob on it. And we will see you back in just a few moments. Okay, and then when this dries, I will go back with a gum eraser. I just had it. We just finished another. Oh, I found it. This is a gum eraser, and it will help to get rid of the residue of. But I want to wait till these are really in there because they're so tiny, and I'm afraid if I go in them right now, it's just going to move everything over. But there is my cover. Here is my back side. I don't believe this is not a pocket. That's correct. Okay, so I'm going to make this into, let's see, because I'm not going to want doubles. Okay, so let's make this into one of our flip pages. So here is that tab piece again. Just so I have, oops, sorry about that. I hit it on accident. Okay, and I'm just going to glue. So I have my cover, I have that second sheet there, then I have what can be my pocket page. So I'm going to take this and glue it. And again, this can be any size that you need it to be. And because I want it to have a pocket, I like to add ribbon as well to my items. So I am going to tape down some ribbons. I think I have a red and black. And I don't need it to be large ribbon. I just want it so something's sticking out of my pocket. Let me cut this a little bit better on the angle to help with fraying. And then I'm just going to use a little piece of tape to hold it down for when I glue this on top. So I'm just going to kind of make the fishtail look, glue it, I'm sorry, tape it right here just so that it's held in place. Actually, let me get a bigger, slightly bigger piece to hold it in there. Don't want it to go over to the edge though, because then it will end up showing through. Okay. You can take the backing piece off if you'd like as well. And then we're just going to glue this to that. You could punch a hole in it as well. Again, that's if you like ribbons on. You could do charms, you could do staples, paper clips. Actually, I have black and red paper clips. Maybe I'll do that on another one so they're not all about ribbon. And I'm just going to mat this on, make sure, especially in the part where my ribbon is, that I burnish it really well. And then at least I know I have something in here to pull out. Okay, so it's cover, flip up, pocket, another flip up, and then here's a flip side, and then another pocket. So let me get this piece out, and I'll do piece of black ribbon, I guess, on this one. Oops, and I took it right off of the backing, so let's fix that up. Okay, just gonna put this one, it's a longer piece of ribbon just so I can go lower here, and then a little smaller on this piece over here where I'm gonna overlap it. Then I'll trim my ribbon in a moment. Okay, now I'm just gonna add some glue. Okay, and then we're gonna burnish this. And then let's just cut my edges a little smaller, like so. And then I can tuck this one in here. Actually, this one would have been cute if I had the border in red, but hey, it is what it is. But you can add more pages that you want, or that will hold, depending on what size rings you get as well, like so. And then I'm going to just tie, if I can get some more, I have some more ribbon. You can just jazz it up a little bit more. I don't know if I have, let's see, I think I have some more ribbon over here. Should. Where is it? Okay. Just some more black and red ribbons that I can just tie on. And when you're making your ribbons, just kind of want to make sure you use a square knot so that they won't uplift on you at a later date. Let's put this one on the other side of the red. And if you have charms or beads or anything else that you want to add, this would be where you can add them as well. And I'm just going to rotate those in, and then I would just trim these how I want. Nope, not like that. I like them on the angle, on an angle. And if you have a match or a lighter, I would suggest you burn the edges to seal them so they don't fray over time. And there is your cute little speak and spell. You can put your pictures. You got room on the top, you got room on the bottom, room on this area, you have a room here, and then you have your one that you can pull out, flip it over, you have another flip up, you have your side flip up. I mean, so this right here is enough for three pictures, your journaling tag. So I mean, we only made a 3-page album, and technically we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 journals or 11 photos in this cute little 3-page chipboard. But again, I have plenty of room on my ring that I can go ahead and add more pages if I wanted. You could take your black fine tip and fill in the alphabet and the punctuation here as well. Endless ideas that you can do with this. And again, you don't have to make them all, the color of the speak and spell. You can just do it in a solid color if you wanted. But have fun with it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned how to make pockets on a die that doesn't have pockets, and how to make the flips by making your own little tab scores. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next time here at Stamp Anything. Even though it's stamp it, love it, stamp it, color it, and love it. This isn't a stamping video, but I still hope that you guys had a lot of fun with me. Have a good day. Bye.